It's a little too late in the month to make an April Fool's Day joke, which I'm honestly happy about because I'm not really a huge April Fool's Day fan, but I am a huge fan of all of you, our listeners. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and listen each week. That's all any of you would ever need to do to help make every day this month April's awesome day. But if you really want to do more, I suppose you can. You can rate and review the show on your podcast app of choice. That really makes a huge, huge difference to us and to other people finding the show. It's one of the biggest things that you can do. You can also follow us on social media, reach out, let us know what you're thinking or the rules we mess up or questions you have. You can always email us too at livetodiepodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Of course, you can also share the podcast with people who might like it while always being respectful. Please, please, please. If you really, really, really want to do something more, I suppose you can. You can go on to Patreon where you can support us and we share behind the scenes conversations and other recordings. We recently had the behind the scenes recording of how we built the kingdom. We've also got like our early playthrough of the beginner box and some extended episode versions of the side quest stuff. As a part of our Patreon each month, we also shout out one supporter at the called shot tier or higher. This month, that's Michael. Thank you so much, Michael. Thanks for tuning in, for supporting us to help make this whole thing possible. It's still wild to me that we get to do this and share it. Support from you and other patrons has helped us make this keep going. It's helping us cover hosting fees and website stuff and, you know, the little things that add up. We're also upgrading equipment slowly, and so it's helping with that too. If any of you want to support us on the Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/livetodiepod. That's patreon.com/livetodiepod. Thank you so darn much. I'm going to get out of your hair now, and I hope you can enjoy this week's episode of the Live to Die podcast.
Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast.
Jason asked for this, so if it bothers any of you, you're wrong, and also blame Jason. It's been a little bit since we've gotten to hang out and record in person because, well, you'll all be listening to this near the waning months of winter, the beginning of spring. For us, it's winter, and it's kind of hard to get around in Colorado when, A, you're trying to catch up on everything that you had to put aside during the holidays, and B, apparently it decides to snow a fucking lot only when we record.
And occasionally it's -30 outside.
Yeah.
There is, well, I don't think we mentioned this last time. There is more than a foot of snow outside.
Yeah, we joked, I think, in the last episode about like 15 feet of snow, but like legitimately there's more than a foot of snow outside.
Yeah, maybe
it's really
a foot
terrible.
and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But Jason, sorry, I was just taking a sip of tea. Jason's like, can we talk about what we're like watching and reading? And I was like, oh yeah, that is fun. It's been a hot second, I think, since we've done that. Jason, what you up to?
Oh man, so I've been trying to read more books than I did last year. And the one I'm reading right now is really making me want Barnabas to show up. I'm reading this pirate book called Born to be Hanged.
Okay.
And the subtitle is like the gentleman pirates that raided the South Seas, rescued a princess, and stole a fortune or whatever. And it's a little dry, but it's like fun at the same time. Recommended by Matt and Ryan, who had read it before. But yeah, I'm like, we need to get Barnabas up in here again so I can be piratey some more.
I expect that group to be showing up in the next month or two if they're going to make it here.
The other stuff I'm not going to talk about is depressing.
Okay.
I've been reading some depressing books.
Well, I know that's not all you got.
What do you mean?
You've been reading other stuff too, right?
Yeah, I read more Star Wars books, obviously.
Sweet.
I read one that, you know, the popular Jedi Star Wars games with Cal.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
Jedi
Cal
Survivor
Kestis.
and Fallen Order. The book is not great.
Oh.
There's a book in between the two games, and it's like someone was like, we have all these extra cutscenes, and somebody's like, fuck it, let's put them in a book. So it's informative of what happened in between, but it's not a great read. But the High Republic books, I've kind of finished what they call the Path of the Open Hand storyline as far as it's going, which is like an anti-force user cult in the Star Wars world. And it's been really fun. It's YA, so there's some like, you know, everybody's got weird sexual tensions about everybody else, and but it's still fun.
Nice. Look, I love a good little bit of sexual tension.
it's just, it's like the Jedi always have sexual tension with somebody, and it's like, I mean, why?
Look, Jane's throwing weird looks. But like, look, in books, it's so much fun to have like weird tension
It's
with
why
characters.
James and I are such good friends.
I know.
Why do you think
I
we
know.
started this podcast?
Jared, I mean, I know that you're kind of busy, but even if it's just through like your kids, any shows or books that you're enjoying?
We watched Wish for the first time, which is
How was that?
It was 7 out of 10.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty
7
good.
out of
Good.
10's not
the
bad.
story's good. Music was not as good as I was hoping.
Mm.
Sometimes the music carries those. Good though. Good, fun, worth watching.
All right. A rec for those other parents out there.
Yeah, and then we started a show called Billions.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard about that.
We're only like 4 episodes in. I don't love it so far.
Mhm.
It almost seems like I don't know. The dialogue doesn't seem supernatural to me. But I'm gonna give it. We're gonna keep giving it a shot.
All right.
So I'll let you know. I'll update you.
Is it going to be one of those shows where people are like, at season 5, it really hits its stride?
Yeah, maybe it might be one of those. I haven't really done any research, so I didn't even know really what it was about. I could kind of assumed. But yeah. So all right, so far nothing huge jumping out.
All right.
And then I tune in when my wife's watching, murder documentaries and stuff like that. True crime documentaries.
If she
She's
ever needs to
watching-
talk to somebody, just
Oh
Let her know
yeah,
I'm-
she's seen like all of them.
Has she seen my special?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
A case I covered back in my journalism days got licensed. It was on a 2020 episode, and
Oh,
it
maybe.
got licensed for Investigation Discovery. So occasionally on Investigation Discovery, I'm on there talking
We
about
just
this case.
She
actually-
probably has seen it. to
We
be
just
honest.
found the DVD that James has of that, and I think we
DVD?
should do a watch party of
we
it.
should.
So the producer because there was a bunch of journalists covering it, and I won't go in. Jesus, smack my own mic. There's a bunch of journalists covering it, and there was a couple out of state producers for the big ones, like 2020, 48 Hours Later, and what's the
Like
other?
Dateline.
And Dateline, I think all had. 2 had
You
in-house
did say
producers.
you were on Dateline, and we were all like, please explain.
Oh, was it Dateline? It's either Dateline or 2020. I was on one of
Yeah.
those. I'm in the background on some of the other ones. One of them had a freelance producer out here that I've kind of known and stayed in touch with. She does some really cool work. And then 2 sent in producers from out of state. And one of them's like, hey, the local's been covering it. I kind of want to use some of your coverage and talk to you. And anyway, ended up being a really good producer to work with.
Nice.
But when it aired, he was like, hey, let me send you a DVD copy of it. And I was like, okay, thanks.
Can we do like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 style view party?
Yeah.
That
Where
would be
like
great.
there's a camera behind us and we're watching the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put it on Patreon.
yeah. Okay. Trent, what are you? What have you been watching, reading, hearing?
Casey and I have been watching Heroes. Which
nice.
The old NBC show?
Yeah.
Oh,
Season
God.
9 was
So-
so good.
I have thought while watching it, like, I'm not sure it's held up very well.
Yeah, I believe that.
What's so funny?
Are you the one being inappropriate?
No.
Oh.
It's just funny that you bring this up because a few weekends ago I got together with the aforementioned Casey.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, Trent was being so annoying last night. And I was like, why? And she was like, because he had
Maybe
3
was inebriated.
martinis and is like, let's watch Heroes. And then the whole time I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting into it. And he was like, this isn't as good as I remember. Let's fast forward this part.
That's hilarious.
As I crack a beer open, everybody.
At least it's not a martini.
Yeah.
Dude, if they canned those, I'd be in trouble.
I mean, it definitely like it's gotten better throughout the first season, but it definitely has not held up as well as I thought it would have.
She also told me that night that you made her watch Rent and sang
did,
all
yeah.
the songs.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if you're gonna watch a musical, you got to sing along.
Yeah, exactly.
I do remember when Heroes was coming out, and like for its time, the like episodic, really serial story like was so cool. And I think now they've just been done a lot better in a lot of different ways. There are some cool
for
actors
sure.
in there now who are sort of like household names elsewhere.
Yeah, it's funny. Like everybody who popped onto the screen, we're like, oh my god, whoa.
It also has a character, and he's actually, by the time he was in Heroes, he'd already been in Alias for a while. But there's a guy in that show that looks like one of our old coworkers so much.
Tyler.
Oh, you're talking like the
Greg Grunberg.
Yeah.
He looks so much like one of our old coworkers.
Yeah.
But he was in Alias before that. He actually left Alias to go do Heroes, I think.
That's right.
Okay, Heroes. Anything else you're watching or reading want to plug? You excited
No, I
about?
think that's about it.
What about you, Jane?
So I've been reading a series called The Chronicles of Amber. which is like a weird sort of fantasy, multiversey, very pulpy adventure thing that James read when he was a kid and was like, I think you might like this. It's really fun. It was written in the 70s. So I've been reading that. And one of the book that's like next on my list I've seen recommended a lot, which is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. That's my kind of like in the queue. And then been watching a lot of stuff. True Detective season 4, week to week.
How's that?
I would say that I would really like it if I wasn't comparing it to season 1 because I think season 1 of True Detective is like one of the best things that's been on TV.
Yeah,
Oh,
great.
totally agree.
Yeah, I love it.
So good.
But it's like nothing has ever been able to like replicate the perfect blend that they got in that. So it's completely different. And I like it actually a lot in context of like, it's like I'm watching a Delta Green story
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
So if you look at it that way and not so much like I'm watching True Detective, it's really good. But yeah, it is always like, I'm always like, I want it to just be like season 1, but it's not. And then, the other thing I have been making James watch with me, which I love, is Dairy Girls.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
yeah, I've heard
stupidly
it.
good show.
It's
I've heard it's really good.
It's really good. It's very fun. It's like 20-minute episodes, super sweet and heartfelt and hilarious. So yeah, that's a big recommendation for anybody too, is that one's a fun one.
Jess and I have been working through Deadwood too still.
Dude, Deadwood is
And-
stupidly good.
Dude, I've seen it before, but I think we've mentioned before, like playing Kingmaker and watching Deadwood at the same time is really fun.
I think especially this stage of your kingdom
Yeah.
being like 120 people, the leaders of the town having to like ride out and deal with bodies being found.
Everything is mud.
Yeah.
Literally everything is mud.
Actually, not much has changed in Deadwood, South Dakota.
We're actually going to go on a trip there. We
Nice.
were like, hell, we need to go to South Dakota again. Let's go to Deadwood. Apparently, Jessica's family knows the person that runs the gym saloon now.
Oh,
Whoa.
shit.
Yeah, so whoever wants to go, we're going to go to see the gym saloon, see if there's still $5 prostitutes hanging out in Deadwood. South Dakota.
James, do you want to tell everybody the very important thing that we watched last weekend?
Oh, yeah. Jane's been working on my Disney education. 'cause I
James
haven't
hasn't seen any Disney
Lion
movies.
King.
I've seen some.
Which one did you watch?
We watched Mulan. It was really fun.
Oh, Mulan's
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
I'd
I
never
picked
seen that.
Mulan because I felt like it would be the one that he would like the most, and
Okay.
to defeat the Huns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Lion King? Somebody said Lion King. You've
No,
seen-
I haven't. It's on the list.
What?
He's not ready. He's
Yeah.
not ready.
for it.
We've talked about
it.
this
yeah.
on air.
He can't.
It's
Jason,
going to devastate him.
Yeah.
He's not ready.
yeah, we need to. We need to.
yeah.
I'm
I saw
working
Lion
on.
King in theaters. It was
Yeah,
great.
me too. Yeah.
I'm working on James's education with this, and so feedback welcome. But I'm saying like these are the crucial ones that I was like we need to watch are
Bambi,
Mulan,
Lion King.
Bambi, get fucked. What?
Yeah, no Bambi.
You're,
I agree.
you're,
Just all
you're really
terribly
trying
sad.
to hit those really
I
sad
really
ones.
hit the sad
What's
ones.
wrong with you? No, I'm saying Lion King, Mulan.
Are you going like original animated? Or are you going like
Well,
Pixar also?
no Pixar.
I've seen
Okay.
a lot of the Pixar
Oh,
ones.
We've seen
Aristocats.
Pixar. Well, yeah, that's a good one too.
Aristocats.
I do love Aristocats.
Aristocats.
No, but I'm saying like if we had like the most crucial Lion King, Mulan, Aladdin, Beauty
yeah.
and the Beast, Little Mermaid.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Because the music in the
I
Little
have
Mermaid
notes.
is great.
I really liked Hercules.
I would add
when I was a
Frozen.
kid, though.
I think
Frozen,
Frozen is a
Snow
That's
White
true.
and the
That's
Seven
true.
Dwarfs
Good one.
is like on the top 100 greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty
also creepy as hell. But
Look, it's fucking Disney back in the day. It's all creepy.
101 Dalmatians, I think, is
Oh, good
honorable
one. Good
mention.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I will
Cruella
say
DeVille.
I've seen some.
Fox and the Hound.
Fox and the Hound's good.
Oh,
So good.
yeah.
Because as a kid, I'd seen bits and pieces of a ton, but Jane doesn't count those, which is fair. The ones I've seen in,
Homeward Bound.
Oh,
Isn't that a
yeah.
Disney movie?
I have seen the entirety of the Robin Hood, like
Okay,
with the
okay.
Fox one. That's,
Yeah, that's
great.
Fox
great.
Robin Hood.
great.
Yeah.
I've also seen all of Tarzan.
Tarzan's
Uh,
good.
Eh,
All
I like Tarzan.
I mean, it's all right.
What is
all-
it just because your name's Jane?
Yeah,
It was just
actually.
Phil Collins' chance to make a good song. That's it.
I've seen all of Hercules.
Every single song in that is. He lit the piano on fire. It was so good.
I've seen Lilo and Stitch.
That's a
Emperor's
great
New
one.
That's a good
Groove.
one.
Those are like kind of the
Emperor's
newer.
New Groove. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Emperor's
Oh,
New
that's a
Groove is a
great
great
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
What I'll say is I do
Wrong
have kind of
lever.
a weird relationship, and I've probably talked about this before, and so I don't want to dive into it too much. I do have a weird relationship with Tarzan and Hercules because I loved Greek myths when I was a kid. And I was familiar enough with it where like I was so excited. We didn't own a TV when I was a kid. We went to the movies, but only very rarely. And so and my mom was really, really careful, try to pick stuff that's appropriate for kids. So like Disney was usually a thumbs up because they try to make it that way. But I knew the myth of Hercules. And so when they're like, we're making a Hercules movie, and I'm like, wow, this is going to be a lot. I'm really interested to see how they handle him murdering his wife and kids and then like feeling guilty about it. And then the whole movie, I'm like, oh, I was the like shittiest little 8-year-old neckbeard in the theater. Like,
this is not
actually,
historically accurate.
and like, it's a similar thing for Tarzan because like the grandfather that got me into Godzilla and Jurassic Park and all that stuff would kind of like eventually got me into, like, he told me Tarzan stories that he would like, clean up a little bit. But as I got older, I started reading Tarzan. And so I remember I'd read some of Tarzan. And when you're reading Tarzan, like throughout the books, he essentially just starts terrorizing and murdering people in a village to convince them that he's a god to get what he wants. And of course, the movie is not like, all right, so here's how Tarzan starts hanging men outside of their own village to scare their families. Like, so as a kid, I was like, I don't know. That being said, the soundtrack for Tarzan fucks.
So good.
Yeah, it's good.
Jesus Christ.
I remember Hercules had like a McDonald's promotion, and that's when they came out with the fucking triple cheeseburger.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
Hercules
yeah.
would eat.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen James laugh in quite the same way as when we were watching Mulan and Mushu's like, let's go kick some honey buns.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy really sells that
Yeah,
role.
he's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
What's the name of? Is it Titan AE? Is that a Disney
Yeah.
movie?
I don't know if it's Disney, but I remember
I
watching
remember
Titan.
Titan. It
really
was pretty
good one.
awesome though.
I also remember Treasure Planet.
Treasure
That was
Planet.
Treasure
So
Planet.
good.
Do you guys remember Gargoyles?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually have started watching this because it's on Disney Plus.
Oh,
It's
really?
Good.
It's horrible.
Horrible.
And I love it.
I remember
They
it
have some
being
great voice
really
actors.
good.
That was awesome.
It is awful. And
Huh.
I love it.
Interesting.
Not a bingeable show.
Also,
yeah.
not Wildcats. Shit, I can't remember the name of it. Thundercats.
Mhm.
Fucking terrible, but it's great.
Yeah.
There was a Disney movie, I think it was Disney, like a live action Disney movie called Mighty Joe Young
Yep.
about a giant gorilla.
Oh,
I
yeah.
kinda remember
Also,
that.
I think starring Bill Paxton, right?
Oh,
I don't
I don't
remember.
know. Was
it's
it a
been so
gorilla?
long.
I just remember the gorilla.
Maybe.
Just
Wasn't
the
there a
joke.
show too about like geese, like flying with geese or
Yes,
something?
Far Away from home.
Jesus
Fly-
Christ.
fly
Trent's,
away home, fly away
Trent's
home. Fly away
known
home.
nemesis, geese.
Yeah, Fly
Actually,
Away
we
Home.
just watched that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Weirdly, with the kids.
That's so
Was it good?
random.
My parents have the kids over most Fridays, and they have to watch movies.
Not bad.
And they're like running out of movies, and that was
Yeah.
one that they just recently watched.
Fairly wholesome.
Well,
It's what's his name
we're,
from Dumb and Dumber.
oh, Jim Carrey?
No, the
No.
other one,
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff
Oh,
Daniels.
Yeah.
wow.
Hmm.
Look, it was a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, so
That would have been two different movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're already like several minutes into this, so I'll punch mine real quick and then
Just
get into
send
the
us
episode.
what Disney movies we missed that James needs to watch.
Yeah.
To Jane. Send them to Jane.
Jane is
Don't
not
send
on
it
the
to me.
internet.
Don't send it to me.
Let's see. I just recently finished The Goblin Emperor, which was the 2015 Locust Award winner. Catherine Addison, I think, was the author. A recommendation from friend of the podcast, Zach, actually. Genuinely really cool political book. It is a big it really does the whole fantasy names thing, which you should make me dislike it. But the book and the characters were so charming and so well paced that I really did it. I'm part of the way through Between Two Fires right now, a book by Christopher Bullman, who also wrote the book The Black Tongue Thief. He's written a couple things. He started off doing some like kind of horror adjacent stuff, and has now done his second fantasy one, the prequel to The Black Tongue Thief, The Daughter's War, is supposed to come out in this year, 2024. I cannot highly enough recommend Black Tongue Thief as a read. It is a good story with good characters, but it also has basically the best pacing I've ever read in a fantasy novel. Cannot highly enough recommend it. So I wanted to read some more stuff from him, and Between Two Fires is similarly excellently paced with a cool story. So really cannot recommend enough Christopher Bowman's work. That's how you say his name. But Black Tongue Thief, Between Two Fires, really freaking good. Just watched the Netflix movie They Cloned Tyrone the other night, which like highly
good.
fucking recommend. That's super fucking fun. And then just recently finished the second season of the Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which might be the best Star Trek I've ever seen, and I love Star Trek.
Nice.
It's a ton of fun.
So those are my quick rapid fire recommendations. Oh, and you know what? I've been listening to an album by a band, a metal album by a band called Knife Knife. They just dropped their first album, and it's really fucking
Knife
good.
Knife,
So check
sweet.
out Knife Knife. They're on Spotify. They just dropped their new album a couple weeks ago.
Is Knock Knock a fan?
Knock, knock,
It
knife,
should be.
knife.
So yeah, that's what's going on with me. But I think we were just looking at some people who may have had a run-in with a knife or something else to that effect. How was
Did you
that
bring
for a
up that
segue?
band just so you could do that?
Yeah, or knock knock. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I thought about Knock Knock.
What
when
if
they was
Knock
telling us
Knock
about
did
it.
kill these people and we're like, oh,
He's like,
Knock.
I helped. I'm helping you.
They said they looked at you funny. Now they're gone.
Tracked down those bandits you let loose, and I killed them for you.
You got the wrong people. Well, the bandits are next. First, I'm killing the bandits' friends.
And everyone they've ever spoken with.
Jesus. You two need to be stopped sometimes.
I will say this is still off, but Jane was telling me the other night there was a discussion about you and I, Trent, and about sort of some of our inverse nature, in which at my deep
All
down
of us,
core,
everybody at the table was like, I don't actually understand how James and Trent became friends.
because I guess Jane was telling me in this conversation, they were like, yeah, James is such like can be such a smiley and a kind and an outgoing person, but then deep down he's just really pessimistic, sad, and dark.
Well, that's exactly how we became friends.
And then I was like, Trent is kind of the opposite. Where like, I think you actually are like a pretty optimistic person, but you like act very cynical all the time. But it came up because one of our mutual friends was like, oh, I think Trent is so cool and interesting. But every time I like see him out in town, I'm just like, he never makes eye contact with me. And I'm like too intimidated to go talk to him. And I was talking about how like I'll come into the coffee shop and
See, I
Trent
don't
will
get
be
that.
like,
Is this Casey?
yeah, it's his wife. And it's like, I was saying that the other day I came in and you were like on your laptop and I walked by and I said, good morning. And you just didn't acknowledge me or say hi. And I went, good morning. And you went, what's gotten into you? And then I got my coffee and left.
Honestly, most of the time I literally am so focused on like what I'm reading or looking at on my computer that somebody comes in there like, hi, but then they're walking past me, so I can't see who it is.
He just doesn't miss a beat and he goes, what's gotten into you?
Well, now we're looking at what may have gotten into or out of these bodies.
Ew, that's even grosser.
Ew.
So, Ekandai was brought you down into the basement of your town hall, where the body of two townsfolk.
Are we all having like traumatic flashbacks to getting beaten up by a wizard down
Yeah,
here?
that's what I was just thinking. There's apparently this is where you keep the bodies in the old men.
Because it's cold.
Yeah, sure.
There's a she's giving you a little more information. There's 2 nights ago, a female human farmhand named Saki, Saki, and a male human shepherd named Bevan, Beven, was killed, slaughtered brutally on consecutive nights.
Yikes.
It brings you down and shows the bodies. Okay, so you want to investigate these bodies a little bit?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I
Kinda
would like
pull
to
it
do
back.
some sort of medicine check.
And you can see like all sorts of like marks and wounds and tears on them.
Or survival or nature, I guess.
So I'm going to say this is a recall knowledge, which makes it a secret check.
Mhm.
So give me that level 4 bonus. I'm going to roll the die you gave me, Jason, the one the size of like a fucking golf ball.
Yep.
I kind of love it. It's
can
also
I-
in great colors,
can
purple
I
and black.
Aid this?
I will allow one person to aid. Now, what kind of check do you want to make here, Jason? Because I think several might be applicable.
Does the genius want to aid?
I think
Instead.
medicine would be the most beneficial for me to use especially if I'm being aided.
I have a 7 in medicine.
Yeah, that's
Medicine
what I have too.
could be. Do you have
I have
hunting
6.
lore?
You do.
I do have hunting lore.
You could do hunting lore, maybe.
I'll do hunting
since
lore.
There's some stuff like these
Oh.
things were mauled potentially.
Yeah, okay.
But I will allow anyone to aid with nature, medicine, or hunting lore.
I will aid with medicine.
All right, go for that new remastered DC 15. Oh, you're also rolling your giant die.
That is a 16.
All right, that's going to be a +1. So what's your total with a +1, Jason?
7.
7 with a +1. Comes rolling it behind there.
Well, didn't really build an intelligence based okay.
I was like, wait, my medicine's higher than yours.
Luckily, lores though are lower. That's the
Yeah.
benefit.
Oh, yeah. This is hunting lore. That's right.
So sorry, I actually forgot your bonus already. What was
7.
it? 7. All right. So you
18.
look through this. Can you all I'm sure the listeners can tell, but I'm wondering if you as like the sitting on the table, how much the tension has changed from 2 recording sessions ago. You all were so tense during the Stag
Yeah.
Lord. And I feel like today everyone's just kind of kicking back.
Yeah.
We're also no, we're doing fewer because it's the Super Bowl today.
Super
so
Bowl.
Well,
Sunday.
and Trent's already on his fifth beer.
Let's
So.
go.
All right. So you can tell these bodies, they were killed by bites from a large animal.
It's a freaking werewolf. We all know it.
Likely a wolf or a warg.
Lycanthropy.
Or
Ew! Stop calling it that.
Likely a wolf or a warg, and it does appear that the bodies have been partially eaten.
Okay.
Don't like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna check those out. You can see it. You can see the bite marks, and yeah,
is that
I don't
both
know.
bodies?
both bodies. Yeah.
Do any of them look like they've been beaked?
You don't see beak
Like it doesn't
signs.
seem like a beaky problem.
Are
No.
the bite claw marks of a medium-sized creature or something larger?
It
Or
could
can you
be it could be a bigger wolf or a smaller warg, because wargs
Yeah.
can get pretty fucking big. So it
Okay.
seems consistent with
What is
that.
a warg?
Yeah,
A
what do
wolf-
we know about wargs?
Well, you know what? Does someone want to? You can go ahead and roll this as an open check while I look up wargs to give you what is canonically there.
Well, like a
'Cause,
nature check.
I do believe wargs would be a nature check. Yeah. I'm gonna find out for
Won't
sure
be
though.
me.
What do you got
Me
on
neither.
wargs, Jason?
I got 14.
Look, I got to get all the mileage out of this I fucking can. All right, so wargs are in fact a nature check. Wargs are an intelligent and like malevolent version of like it's sort of an ascended wolf. It's sort of like a it's like a fantastical mythological wolf.
Are they
hunt in
bipedal?
pack. They hunt in packs and surround their prey like common wolves, but they're a cunning penchant for taunting victims. Like they can speak common.
Oh, hate that.
That
Think-
sucks.
Think kind of like mythological wolves
Yeah.
in a way.
Like big bad wolf sort of vibes.
A little bit. So
like
they're
I'm gonna trick you and then eat you.
kind of, yeah. They're intelligent, malevolent sort of like hunters. Also, like if you want to like go way back into the fantasy depth, like wargs were often what the goblins would ride in. I think Lord of the
Mhm,
Rings,
Lord
there
of
were
the Rings,
warg
yeah.
riders.
Oh, yeah.
But in Pathfinder, there are like you can talk, like they can talk, and they're intelligent. Yeah, they're sort of folklore like wolf monsters.
Mm.
Okay.
So could be that. That's what you see.
What, I
So-
don't know.
Let's
Go-
go blow their houses down.
Go back to season 1. I mean, you can start asking around town. You can go check out you can ask about where the bodies were found and check those areas. Like you got options, you can find out more about these people, maybe what they were doing.
What day?
Start investigating this shit.
Yeah, I do think like foraging at night. I know you said starberries
Well,
probably
he said,
indicates.
he
but-
said something about starberries. I don't know if that's a night specific thing.
Yeah,
You
it
could ask-
seems
you could ask around
strange.
town.
I'll ask
about it.
or if does the ranger know?
Akandayo doesn't kind of know
Akandayo,
all thing
okay.
about that. He's more of a hunter than a gatherer.
I think
Are
we
you-
should go to where they were taken and not
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
and ask about some other people that knew them, I guess.
Yeah, I think we should go talk to their families or whoever
Yeah.
they lived with.
So you want so who wants to gather information around town? It'll take a couple hours to talk to
Ari.
folks.
Counselors
Counselor.
prime
Uh,
set up for that.
Controller Lucky.
Yeah, I'll help.
Comptroller.
I'll help as well.
So,
we get an Ari Lucky side episode.
Yeah.
ooh, just for
We'll
that, I'm
team
gonna
up.
shift the music. I'm gonna shift Syrinscape's music from spooky to moody.
To buddy cop.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Definitely moody.
I'm definitely bad cop. You're good cop.
So, do you want to go together? One of you want to assist the other in gathering information?
So
I gotta. What are we using society?
Diplomacy.
It's
or
diplomacy to
society?
gather information, unless you
Yeah.
have a feat that allows you to use another one.
I have a +8 in diplomacy.
Take a little sip
I
of my
have a-
tea.
Let's
You
say
don't want-
diplomacy. So
You don't
I'll
want
aid you.
Arthur like issuing condolences to the families.
We're like, Arthur, why don't you bury these?
Yeah, you're more personable than Lucky,
We
so
could
he'll
do
just
that while
help.
they're gathering.
Okay.
We'll do like bury and funeral rites.
So what'd you get on your diplomacy?
12.
Lucky? Okay, so you don't hurt it.
Ooh,
We got Jane.
A 26.
Okay,
Dang.
so tell me a little bit.
Wait,
Jane,
did I get a +1 because of him?
No.
Oh.
So tell me a little bit about
Nope.
how you'd be, help paint a picture for me. How would you be gathering information around town? How would Ari go talking to her the folks there at Shieldbreaker, Basher,
Shatter Shield.
Shatter Shield? That's the place.
Well, like I said, I think that if watching so many British crime TV shows has taught me anything, it's
Mhm.
that first and foremost we go talk to the last people they saw.
And the boyfriend.
and
You
the
don't know who
boyfriend.
the last people they saw were.
Well, we're gonna go figure that out.
Okay.
And so we're gonna go to like wherever they lived or whoever they lived with, whether it's like family or Shatter Shield roommates, I don't know. And kind of like talk with them and be like, why was she out gathering at night? What were they doing?
Yeah.
Have they seen anything weird or done anything weird? And like just kind of talking with whoever is kind of associated with those people, which I would assume we would know by now. Like at least somewhat of who they're around or, where they live and stuff like that.
I think that's a part of your gathering information. So you kind of spend some time knocking on doors, basically, or going out and talking to folks, is what I hear.
Do you
Yeah.
have a little like pen and pad?
Yeah.
You're writing all this
And
down.
a little like pen and paper.
Amazing.
And then I will request that when we find the culprit, we get to do the thing where we recite to them exactly how they did it.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm gonna let me paint a picture for
And we're like, and then you went out into the Starberry field.
So you spent some time, you kind of wound up with some people who knew him. A lot of the folks there aren't a ton of families down here yet, just because it's so frontier and unestablished that like most of the folks that are here are like, there's some friendships and some camaraderie, but like it's only been a month or so. So you're not getting a lot of families, but what you're able to piece together is that Saki, 2 nights ago, she died, but she was out gathering starberries. And kind of what you're able to piece together is that these berries sparkle. Like they're usually kind of difficult to find, but when they're hit by moonlight, they sparkle. So they're easier to pick at night. And they dry out well. Yeah, you know what?
Hey.
Take the National Safety Council patch.
Yes.
Because I'm hanging on to this dope-ass wizard's chest
It's
patch
sweet,
right now.
right?
It's so cool.
Shout out to the Wizard's Chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to any local gaming store you can
All
make it
the
to.
local game shops.
And they dry well, they bake well. They're great like with meats if you want to add to it, or if like some people are kind of experimenting. I think you probably have 1 or 2 folks who are sort of like who have found their way to Brevoy from other areas, and so maybe like haven't set up as much. And so when they're like, well, like I'm kind of a foreigner here anyway, so there's somewhere new, I might as well try to set down roots there. So maybe there's even 1 or 2 folks from Varisia there, and so
Nice.
maybe there's folks working on like shield pastries or things like that, which we've talked about before. And so maybe it's something like that. And so yeah, she was out kind of looking for those. You spent another hour or so, and you're able to find out a little bit more about Bevan. He was a shepherd, kept a small flock of like sheep and goats, and him and his flock were slaughtered, and it looks like they were kind of coming home from a pasture that was a little bit outside of the more sort of your settlement doesn't have like walls or a boundary necessarily, but there's safety in kind of numbers and adjacency. And there was sort of a pasture that he'd been out with his flock, and so him and his flock were slaughtered on the way back.
And
Flock 2?
Yeah.
that's
That
a
makes me
lot of
sad.
slaughtering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And none of them have like, nobody we talked to has like seen anything weird or heard them talk about anything weird before they died.
No one's hearing, they didn't say anything weird, like Bevan and Saki hadn't said anything weird, and sort of talking around, neither of them had like any enemies that you knew about. You're asking sort of any weirdness from these 2 people in particular, and neither of them had any sort of known enemies, but I will say it's kind of early afternoon, and at this point, there being a couple of deaths in town, you are kind of starting to pick up word that there are people are talking about like, oh, there might be some sort of like maneater stalking the hinterlands. And like throughout the day, that word is starting to spread that like some sort of beast is plaguing it. And like people are starting to get nervous about being there and going too far out of town, which is slowing down work and making it just harder to get food to feed people.
So I think we will tell everybody like, stay inside at night. Like we're going to figure out what's going on. But like for the next few nights, maybe we'll do like a curfew or something where it's like at sundown, you should be inside.
Okay.
What?
I'm mandating a curfew.
Cool.
Government imposed curfew.
So, what's next for all of you? You bring this intro. Do you tell this to Arthur and Nikolai?
Yeah, we do our coffee date.
Yeah.
Is a whole nother day gone by, or do you have another coffee date later?
No, we
in the same
have like
afternoon?
we have morning coffee and
Afternoon tea.
afternoon tea. Yeah,
Yeah,
evening sort of. But like I would think probably at the end of the day, because I assume that takes us a long time to like gather.
It takes you an hour or two, so it's probably like 1 or 2 p.m. by the
Okay.
time you've done talking. There's only 120 people in the whole settlement.
It's
So we have
May,
lunch.
and the sun stays
And
up
you've-
for a long time. So
Yeah.
And you were only talking. You were only just sort of tracking down you were just tracking down information about Saki and Bevan.
Okay. So yeah, we'll go tell you guys like it seems like it's some sort of natural predator. They were kind of out on their own. It seems like Bevan got killed at night too, or
They were both killed at night. And as for you also find that they were both kind of killed along the same. It's not a road yet, but some sort of like path and trail leading into the village.
Can I ask a mechanical question?
Yeah, of course.
Does that mean this is occurring within our hex?
Yes, 100% within your hex.
Okay. Just curious.
that's a good question.
Our first hex, not the one we claimed.
Correct. Yes.
should we go check out the scenes of the crimes?
Yeah, I think we need to.
I want to not metagame too hard,
Mm-hmm.
but I do want to ask the specific knights that they were murdered so that we can maybe glean some more information out of that.
You mean in terms of like the moon and stuff like that?
The moon,
Because you all
the
keep
day.
yelling werewolf really
Well,
loud.
we've said werewolf, and the thing that I mouthed to him when you talked about starberries is the more moon there is, the shinier they're going to be. So a full moon would be the best time to harvest
Ooh,
starberries.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's how they're fucking patches
So
for us.
give me a nature check,
Okay.
because I like to imagine that like someone's keeping track of it, but if you'd be like, wait, actually, how close is it to the full moon?
18.
Jesus fuck, you're really good at nature.
Yep.
Hey,
If you can do a survival, it's a 19.
yeah, Nikolai. Tonight's the full moon.
Tonight is the full
Ah.
moon.
Tonight is the full moon.
And tonight's full moon.
Having on a night just like this.
We're like, wait, what's the moon phase right now? We bring in one guy and he's like, well, in fact, tonight is the full moon.
Ray of Frost stands up.
Yeah.
Hi, Ray here. I just moved here from
He's
Frost.
like during our afternoon tea. Ray Frost.
Okay, well,
Turns out.
I think it's good to let the people know to... I don't want to say they cannot leave at night, but perhaps we encourage that they do not walk alone or unarmed until we figure this out.
Yes.
I think we should go out and, lay a trap, catch us a werewolf tonight.
What's the bait?
Us.
Hmm.
Fun, right?
I can be paid.
Arthur can be bait.
We should get Knock Knock.
Knock, knock.
Not
Perfect.
for bait, but he is, want to being heroic and killing scary monsters.
What has Knock Knock been doing this whole
You
time?
didn't give him a leadership position, so he's off doing something you don't know. You haven't
He's-
seen him in a couple days.
Definitely.
Uh-oh.
Just
That's a damn shame.
yell his name out loud. Knock Knock.
And he pops up. Who's there?
God damn, I forgot about that.
Patch.
I was going to until you said it.
Oh, come on. He said it for Jason.
That's true.
Rude. All right.
I didn't
all
know
right.
there's a rule for that.
Hey.
Yeah, I definitely think Knock Knock and the Rangers help because I don't know how good we are at trap setting. I don't know what kind of...
Yeah, I think we would definitely get our two dudes, Ekondayo and
Oh,
Garrus,
yeah.
to come with.
And so you want to send out Ekondayo, Garrus, and Knock Knock to like do some extra patrols?
Yeah,
Yeah, and we'll go out too, I think.
yeah, absolutely.
What did I hear? You're going to go? Are you going out in general? Are you going to check out the kill site?
Yeah, we're going to
We're going
like
to
kill
check
site,
the
right?
kill site.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it the
Because
same
we still
site?
have
It's
day.
along the road.
So, with this, if you're kind of gathering and bringing some information together, you've been told where each is by some landmarks. You'd have to go out to the sites to see if they're near each other or not.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Because we have some time before tonight, right?
It's like 1:32 in
Yeah.
the afternoon.
Yeah.
And you're in a small settlement. This is not taking hours. We are not back like in a big French city.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got time. So you go out there, and as you're kind of going along this, you can kind of piecing together from your notes and your little notepad, Ari,
Mm-hmm.
that the two killing sites are along the same path, and you can kind of get there and realize they're only apart from each other by a couple hundred yards. They're not too far from each other at all.
How meta are we being with this?
Up to
I
you.
mean, do we believe it's a werewolf or do our characters believe it's a werewolf?
That's up to you.
Because if our characters believe it's a werewolf, then we would take certain
Sober.
precautions.
Yeah, I think that we probably would make that leap, right? Like,
Do we have any
I don't know
silver
Nikolai
weapons?
would. He's probably just like, it's probably a big bear. Not a big deal.
but it wasn't the nature checks specifically say it seemed like it was from a wolf?
Some
Wolf or
sort
warg?
of warg,
Yeah, wolf or warg.
James, you and I have talked about before that, like, in a setting like this, people, it's not necessarily that, like, you would know, oh, we should take in silver, but like, there are known things like that.
Yeah, and like I think Jason's playing Nikolai, right? Because Nikolai is a more optimistic person, but like Lucky has persistently been a cautious, paranoid motherfucker.
Well, and I have Fey lore as well as one of my not lores, lore skills.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
if
it
you
like falls in line with maybe something that you would be thinking.
do any of you already have silvered weapons?
I don't think we do.
No.
Mm-mm.
I was just going to strap a silver piece to an arrow and shoot it.
There you go.
Twin shot.
Carve a silver piece into an arrowhead.
Well, in that case, there's not like a whole lot you really could do to
True.
prep otherwise.
True.
All right, so you're out there.
I mean, we didn't get any silver from the kobolds.
No.
Not really.
And like alchemically silver treated weapons is different than just the material silver.
Right.
It's kind of a pain in the butt to repair. Yeah, I wasn't sure if any of you had silvered weapons or anything, but
I don't think so.
all right. So you're out at the kill sites. Talk to me about some checks. What do you got going on? What do you want to do out
I'm
here?
gonna fix the talisman to my bow.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
I'm going to do a survival check and see if I can find what's leading to and away from tracks from the kill sites.
Nice. Now, is tracking a secret check?
I don't know.
Probably. Can I aid?
You can certainly aid if you are you trained in survival?
I am.
You know what? I'm going to go over to the archives of Nethys, who I fucking love, and let's look at
Action,
tracking.
concentrate, exploration.
Nope, not secret. So you can just roll that, John.
Hey,
What'd you get, Trent?
that is over 20.
Is it over 25.
3.
Okay, so you had a +1 on this, Jason.
Okay, so I got a 19.
You look around and you're not able to find
This
any tracks.
tracks go everywhere. Every which
Tracks
way.
go every
I
which
did
way.
roll kind of low.
Okay.
I would like to use this and roll again. This
Hey.
patch.
Yeah, you just got the patch. Go for it. Oh
That's
god, those dice
lower.
look so fucking cool.
Those do look cool.
They're shitty though.
Can I try?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I am trained.
Because you two
so-
are spending this time together. So I'm just saying that it takes you maybe half an hour to kind of look for tracks
The fact that it killed a herd of goats and it's
or sheep.
or sheep
Nah, I
makes
got
me
a
sad.
14.
I'm thrown off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone? You spent half an hour looking. You could spend more time if you think there's anything there, but it could be a dead end.
Well, what time are we at?
It's about 2:30, maybe almost
Is this
3.
the same? Is this both sites or just one that we're trying to track?
This is at the first site. You can go and check. You want to go and check the other
Well,
site?
I
the
kinda
recent
wanna-
one?
While they're doing that and looking specifically at like tracks and stuff, I kind of want to like scope the area, just like looking around to see like, is there a place where it would be like easy for something to hide, or like where I think it maybe like could be lurking.
Sure. So you're checking these sites out, Ari, and what you're seeing is that it's pretty typical of the river kingdoms in this area. So there's lots of brush, some like rocky rises, smaller trees, plenty of places to hide, but that's not really more so here than anywhere else in the region.
Okay.
All right, so you're gonna move up to the other kill site, check that out.
Yeah.
Take about another half an
Same
hour and look
thing.
for tracks again. Trent, are you gonna assist again?
Yup.
Jason, do you have a giant die?
I do. I've rolled it a couple times.
Hey.
Natural 20.
All right, so what's your training in survival?
+7, so that's a
What
20.
are you what's your proficiency?
Trained.
So you
Yeah.
get a +2 on this, Jason. In survival.
22.
Okay. So this site though, you are able to find large wolf prints kind of around this kill site. To your point about Deadwood, like there's just fucking mud everywhere. And so
Yeah.
one of these sites, you were going to look out and find either muddy prints or prints in the mud. It's fucking mud. And you do find these like large wolf tracks, and they lead towards like a nearby copse of trees.
Hmm.
They go off in that direction.
Should we follow these tracks?
Sure.
Might as well.
I'll get Spike out.
Weapons at the ready.
You follow the tracks. Can I get to that it's copse?
Cops.
Copse?
Cops.
Yep.
Copse of trees. And you can see that there are blood stains, additional tracks.
Wasn't one of the bodies like missing a limb?
No, just parts of them were eaten away.
okay.
Like there's flesh missing. It isn't just superficial wounds. It is like some consumptive wounds.
Okay.
I don't know if consumptive is a word, but I feel like it
But
gets the
also,
point
they're
across.
not like fully eaten.
Correct. Like maybe someone was interrupted, or they just, you get a little, you
Got
want
mauled
like a
or
little
something.
snack, and
Kind
then
of
you
like
get full.
little flesh shy,
Jesus. But now that you're here at this copse of trees, the tracks aren't apparent again. So if you want, you could attempt another tracking check to try to see where they go from here.
I would like that.
Oh, wait. Wait.
We're
What?
waiting.
Can I designate the...
Hey, yes, you can.
Okay.
Now, what does this do?
Hold on. Well, can I finish saying the thing? Jesus.
Now that's a spouse.
All right, tell us, what are you going to do?
Totally.
Ari would like to designate this creature as her prey, and she's going to hunt prey.
Okay.
So you designate a single
cool.
creature as your prey and focus on attacks against that creature. But I gain a +2 bonus to perception checks to seek the prey, and a +2 bonus to survival checks to track the prey.
Nice.
I would like to maybe aid you then.
What's your survival
Ooh.
bonus?
Yeah. My survival is +6,
Is that before the +2 or after?
You're trained
Before.
too, right?
Oh, nice.
so 8 total.
And what's your bonus,
11.
Nikolai?
Yeah. So I'll aid.
Oh, you're
Okay.
going to aid? Okay.
I mean,
Doesn't matter.
yeah,
That's fine.
We're working together.
it makes more sense.
All right. Ain't looking to hit DC 15.
14.
What do you got? Okay.
We
No
won.
bonus here. Ooh.
22.
Almost took out the minis with the giant
Almost
boulder.
killed Nikolai
Yeah, maybe
with his
let's
own
pull the
mini.
minis down towards this side of the table just for safety. All right.
That was a real Indiana Jones shit right there. Like, run!
So you're now you're struggling to find more wolf tracks.
Can I, because we've been talking about it, ask or pay attention to if there are all of a sudden non-wolf tracks, like human tracks?
You don't find any more wolf tracks. We look around, there's just little human feet
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, guess there's nothing here.
Yeah, guess it's nothing.
Oh, yay.
Ooh.
So- Due to
I actually
the
studied werewolves in
depth
college.
and age of
I mean,
these
kind of.
tracks, you don't find more wolf tracks, but seem to be left at almost the same time as the wolf tracks. Leading out of this copse of trees, you find barefoot humanoid tracks leading out of these woods and back toward town.
It's the
Towards
lumberjacks.
town.
Toward town.
I
They
Lucky.
love trees.
lucky I believe you are onto something. There's these wolf tracks turn into human tracks, and they lead back to town, which is a huge problem.
Yeah.
Werewolf?
One of our people is a werewolf, it
Werewolf.
seems.
We could train him.
No.
Oh, okay.
So
Do we still have Beaky's cage?
I imagine you've retrofitted it into some sort of holding, like combination, like lockdown
Yeah.
storage / holding cell.
Can lycanthropy be treated?
Yes, but nothing that we have, I don't think.
Give me a your choice here of a nature check. I'll roll because it's secret check. Nature or one of the magics.
Can I do my
Oh.
Phalor?
You can, but it probably won't be super helpful here.
Okay.
I wouldn't know on magics. So if someone else wants to.
You have religion, don't you?
Or society
Oh
potentially.
yeah, can I use religion?
Yeah, what's your religion bonus?
9. Expert.
You're not sure. You feel like you've heard different stories about cure, but you've heard conflicting stories, so you don't know. Sorry, it was a secret check. So
So mysterious.
yeah,
I could do Arcana.
yeah. What's your bonus?
probably a good
9 trained.
You do know that it is in fact a curse.
Mm.
So things that would
Oh.
remove curses would remove it. So scrolls, spells, casters can remove the curse of lycanthropy.
Highish level magic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not
This is
accessible.
like
Not super
restoration.
accessible,
I think it's a 4th level spell.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right
I
now.
think so.
I would say that hearing Lucky say that it's a curse kind of is making the wheels turn for Ari with a little bit of concern that like with the drug ring, like the idea that maybe somebody kind of seeded this for whatever reason we don't know, and then someone within our settlement is getting cursed. Like, I don't know that she would jump to it right away that it's like related, but I think maybe she has a little bit of a concern that like someone's meddling a little bit.
Mhm.
It's 4th level, yeah.
So where are you going from here? You see these footprints leading back towards town.
I think we should perhaps put our weapons away and not alert anyone to what we're doing, but follow the tracks back.
We should look for a hairy person in town.
He is a very hairy man. They always have some sort of scraggly beard.
True.
What if they're like a tradesperson in town, like a painter or a potter? What happens if you find a hairy potter?
Jesus.
Can you give yourself a pat?
DM patch.
No, we determined when I
So
heard a patch,
proud
it
of
means
yourself.
I have to buy a new patch to add
Oh,
to the
yeah,
collection.
right.
Put it on your tab.
Also, like we have no way of knowing if it's one of our like staff people
Yeah.
or if it's someone that we trust already, like Ekundayo or Garrus, like
Or a fucking lumberjack.
or
Yeah,
one
it
of the
could be one of the lumberjacks.
lumberjacks.
Who just had a terrible night. You
Oh,
know?
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
So I think that we should do what Nikolai says and go back and like
Okay.
follow the track, see if it can lead us somewhere. And then whatever of the day that we have left, Ari's going to try to just sort of like hang out with people, but maybe try to get a gauge on like, has anybody been like gone at night or missing?
Can we like watch for someone trying to leave?
Okay.
That's the general I'm looking for.
Yeah. And then maybe like do a little bit of a stakeout at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Knock knock and the ranger and maybe our lumberjacks are on the outside.
Maybe knock knock
Oh my
is the
god!
word.
Now you're
That
bringing
would
the
be amazing.
lumberjacks in.
On the cardinal directions.
Are you seriously deputizing the lumberjacks?
Well, okay. Also, do we know from Bucky?
We know they're
Shares
okay
everything.
standing outside at night.
Jared's just shaking his head.
Yeah, wait, why were they cutting trees at night?
No, they weren't cutting
Oh,
trees
okay.
at night.
They just found the body the next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they would-
I wouldn't say deputizing, more like here is a bottle of wine and a book.
making them.
Can you sit out here and see if any werewolves
we'll sit on a
jaunt by
nearby
you?
roof and watch.
Do we know? Does Lucky know, based on it being a curse, if the person would remember what they did, or is it like they kind of like black out, like they wouldn't even know that it's them?
Lucky, you would know that it's different from person to person, and like how much you can become aware of it and have a level of
Yeah.
control in relation to it. But it can be that earlier stages of the curse, it is like a blackout and a no memory sort of thing.
Right.
So
This
it
person
could
may
be
not
one of the
aware.
lumberjacks, and they don't even know. Like,
It's true.
So what I hear is you're going back. You're trying to follow tracks. I'll tell you follow tracks, but you kind of lose them as they get into town because there's so many feet
Yeah.
around that you know what those tracks are going every which direction.
Stake out.
So
It
the
turned
two of
into
Yeah,
a million
stake out.
feet.
We need Emilio Estevez immediately.
So Arthur and Nikolai are getting in touch with some of your folks in town. And you're going to kind of round up some folks to set patrols out. Ari, you're going to kind of start asking around town, like trying to get an idea. What you're going to do it subtly, but you're going to gather some information and see if people have been acting strange. Lucky, what you doing?
I'll buddy cop with Ari.
Now, are you going to aid this check, or are you going to make your own independent check?
What are we rolling again?
Diplomacy to gather
Diplomacy.
information, unless you have a feat that allows you to gather information with
both
something
roll.
else.
Let's both roll.
okay,
All right, make that check.
I'm gonna patch it.
Don't patch it.
Okay, you got it.
Jared's calling for the ball.
Nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. So Lucky, and this is where I love having all of you sitting around the table with me, because I'm gonna let you kind of know a little bit, and then I want you to pitch me how you get there.
Yeah.
So you're gonna find some information. Where do you think you get this, or how do you come across this next lead? And then I'll kind of plug you in. I'll tell you whatever you get when you get me there.
I'm trying to think of maybe like where there would be the most like gathering of individuals. The inn's not built yet, is it?
No, there's not, but there's probably some cook fires near some of the houses,
Or maybe like some of the work sites.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine
Maybe I would be bumping around the work sites just because there's more people in one spot.
because of you having the Stag Lord's former fort up on that sort of hill
Yeah.
next to the lake. I imagine there's an area sort of at the foot of that hill near where the inn's being built, near the housing area, that'll sort of become like a town square. Because like from right there, people can have access to the river, they can get to town hall, they can go to their homes, the inn will be there. So I imagine there's sort of like, because I think some of the folks who come through town, even if they aren't residents, I'm sure you get trappers and hunters that are coming through looking to trade for trade for food or gear and trade furs. So I imagine there is some movement there. And I imagine there's a pretty big communal like fire there that people gather around. So,
yeah, and I think he would just start observing first. And then maybe approach people just based on, whether they seem, I don't know if, I think you would just observe, watch conversations, see what people are talking about.
Why is the comptroller sitting over there all broody?
Oh, that's just what he does.
Ari's going to try to do the same thing, but then get completely distracted because they're using the wrong shade of blue on her fresco.
The fresco's up in the town hall, or is there also going to be a mural on the outside of the inn, like sort of Austrian lodge style? It's going to be a very colorful community. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So what you start to piece together is that folks are talking. You're one person talking about, oh yeah, that trapper in town must have had a rough night. The other couple of mornings, he's just like so drunk, disheveled, half dressed, kind of stumbling around town. And as you ask about that a little bit more, you do hear that there's a trapper named Kundal, 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 who's been in town for a week or so and he's been paying sort of weekly rent on a bed in one of the like sort of smaller spaces of one of the huts, maybe sort of like one of the pit houses. He's been just paying weekly rent on one.
Whoa. We have landlords. How do we kick those people out?
There's a few, I imagine, communal homes for people coming that are just open and sort of funded the construction and the community that sort of oversees them.
Developers? Gross.
It's really hard to keep capitalism out.
It's the controller.
It's lucky.
The funds from these pit houses are used to help fund like food and community store acquisitions.
Slowly, Lucky starts to grow a mustache and gets a monocle.
I'm just investing in real estate now.
Getting into the ground
level.
But yeah, that's what you hear is that this trapper, and people see him just like stumbling around drunk in the mornings, half clothed, and like looks like he's taken a couple falls. Like he must have had one hell of a night, a rough night.
Being a werewolf.
I'd pull you away from your art project.
Like, it's supposed to be cerulean.
Jesus.
We have a town
that's what she
sot.
said. Gotta lead.
Your shirt's not blue, it's cerulean.
Yeah. Okay, great. Who is it?
Some trapper that is new to town.
Mm-hmm.
Should make sense timetable wise. We should probably go check in.
Yeah, how do we find this person?
Renting a space.
Mm-hmm. Renting
Not
a little,
for me, though.
little hut.
I didn't think it would be for me. That's so weird that you brought that up.
Yeah, good. Just wanted to squash that real quick. Let's grab the guys.
All right. Arthur!
Oh, I've been right here.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ, you're so quiet.
She's like, huh. Why are you always doing that?
It is plate mail.
It's always perfectly polished, shiny plate mail.
Is it still perfectly polished?
Yeah, he hasn't
Months
lost the
later.
boon.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, that boot is any and all clothing Arthur wears is always perfectly
pristine.
cleaned and pristine
Wow.
because of gods.
Yeah.
So we inform them.
Okay. So you get over and you're able to ask around, you know the right people, you check the logs, and you find the little hut that he's been renting out. And you end up there, and there's a simple lock on the door, and it's locked.
I can take care of that.
Before we go in,
We're breaking and entering?
let's
For the good of the people.
what is our goal here?
Getting a little policey on me. That's a good question.
I don't want to just bust in and kill him. Maybe
No, we
it's
should
a
talk to him.
curse.
And
See if he knows.
yeah, we
Is there
could.
one entry and exit?
I mean, there's windows, but yeah,
Well, let's peek in a window first.
it's covered by a curtain.
Of course it is.
I can open it.
Yeah, we'll knock on it.
There's the
I mean,
legal principle of curtilage that it doesn't even matter if you approach the sides of a home, you are entering technically.
So you got you. Nothing. No response. Another minute. You don't hear
Housekeeping.
anything. Land shark.
I just kind of want to like look, or are there like little wolf tracks leading out the back of this house or something?
No, there's just like the one door in and out, but you
Okay.
don't. You see some tracks going in and out, but like there's this is a pretty high traffic area. So
Is there anybody
wanna-
else around?
one or two other people.
Neighbors or something?
Just kind of moving. Most people are like working. Like there's some workers who are working on the construction of the
Did
inn.
we know this guy's name?
Yes, Kundal.
Yeah, Kundal.
Kundal.
Don't
So
you
I would
think
just
that,
ask,
like-
have you seen this guy Kundal?
Oh, not for a day or so, but he kind of comes and goes, bringing wares and furs in.
Don't you think that if like all of the leaders of a settlement were like at one guy's house, people would be like,
But I mean, think back to the Deadwood thing of like something's up, but it also like the leaders are also just the people who killed the guy who had the
Yeah.
house before them.
yeah.
I would
We
say
heard that you
give
were being a drunk mess and we need to talk.
one good last, I'll call it a cop knock, like banging on that shit. And if it doesn't, then,
No.
Lucky I need you to open this door.
I produced a key. No, I'm just kidding.
How do you
We're like,
have
where did you
a
get
key to this?
Like, oh, that's what you meant.
Pulls out a ring of keys.
Okay, so I'll
They're
roll
like on a
a
zip
thievery
line.
check.
Yeah, give me a thievery
Like a
check.
janitor.
27.
Oh, yeah, you.
It falls off elegantly in your hands.
Yeah, it's not difficult at all. You are able to. Man, I'm looking through my notes and I like have so many potential things here. But yeah, you're able to easily pick the lock of the door with that. Open it up.
I want to be aware of traps. This person's a trapper.
Oh yeah.
So maybe
True.
there's traps.
What's your perception bonus?
I think I said 9 or
I'm just picturing Arthur like walking in and then just getting like a rope around the ankles and like,
yeah.
whoop.
Yeah, I was thinking like a full net just pulls him up into the ceiling.
The entire floor of this pit house is in fact also a pit trap.
And we're like, oh,
my God, it's a
right.
literal
He's a
pit trap.
trapper.
It's a pit trap house.
Yep. There's a spider at the
A
bottom.
pit trap
Oh.
house.
Yes, I thought that was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. No one else laughed at it.
Trap house.
Yeah, pit trap house.
Gotcha.
So you come in and no one's here. The room appears
Makes sense.
lived in. Yeah. You can kind of just peeking through the door, like a lived-in room. There's a bow up against the corner of one of the rooms or one of the walls, and a kind of messy bed.
Technically, this is an illegal search.
Is there
I'll do it.
blood?
I'm going to stand outside.
You want to give me you make a little check?
Yeah.
I need to get everyone's perceptions written down again, but what's
11.
that bonus? Yeah, you don't find anything, Nikolai, but someone else. Wait, sorry. Yeah, you don't find anything.
What are we rolling?
Perception, that's a secret check.
Okay, I'll search.
Actually, you know what? You can roll these perception checks. I trust you. I rolled yours though, Jason.
Okay,
You didn't
that's
find
fine.
anything. 'Cause- yeah.
That big guy's treating you well, bro.
23.
Ooh, so looking around the room, Lucky, you find, and it's maybe it's a little uncomfortable to find, a single blood-stained golden earring still attached to part of an ear
Oh, man.
underneath
Put it in my pocket.
the
I'm just
bed.
I'll pick it up.
Do we remember
Dangle
an
it.
ear missing from either of the bodies?
Give me a perception check, like a retroactive one. Like
Okay.
give me a perception check to search your memory.
Can I do one
how's
also?
that? Yeah.
Is it a trophy?
Could we have just have asked him for a warrant before he came in here?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah.
Okay, just checking for,
Look, this
for,
is-
for
The whole
future
town
procedure.
council's
Yeah,
here.
right.
This is completely legal.
It's actually technically a public meeting. There's enough of you. There's a quorum here.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, but we didn't have public notice for it.
Nikolai shouted out,
we
"We're about to
knocked.
fucking."
We knocked 3 or 4 times.
That's right.
What
That was the notice.
was the perception check to search your memory?
15 for Ari.
28.
Jesus,
Damn.
fuck! Your mind is an iron trap. What?
I didn't roll. So.
Oh, you do remember that Saki's corpse was missing an ear, and that her other ear had an earring in it, much like this one.
I believe we found our culprit.
This could be planted evidence.
Lucky
very
drops it out of his
suspicious.
pocket.
Yeah. Look what I found under the bed.
Oh.
Whoa, crazy.
You do find his bow. You also find a ledger.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Mm.
If you want to get into some real reporting.
Is it
make
tracking
Arthur
the
read it.
cycles of the moon?
I hand it to Arthur and pull my bow and say, read this so you're culpable in all this legal search and seizure.
It's a thin leather-bound folio. Who's looking through this?
I will.
Okay. And in it, you can see he's keeping track of animals that he's delivered to, like, sort of basically just like a business ledger. You do notice one, though, about a month ago that is quite a bit larger than some of his others. And you just see, so about a month ago, maybe a month and change, but just
Oh, a month ago, like another full moon.
very close to when you fought the Stag Lord, actually.
Okay.
But it mentions a bandit named Eirik, Eirikk, and he delivered 3
Fantasy Eric. Okay.
Fantasy Eric.
Eric.
He notes here that he delivered 3 brush thylacines, a tiger, and a boar.
That
It was
sounds poachy.
Tiger?
We have tigers here.
Dude killed a tiger?
Actually, yeah, we've sort of talked about that, like, sort of like saber tooths basically wouldn't be entirely out of the question in this area.
It's impressive, though.
And
Terrifying.
in addition to this being the largest single delivery in his ledger, it does also note that these were delivered unharmed and ready to be trained.
Where
What?
did they get delivered
Whoa.
A bandit named Eric.
Sounds like a problem.
Could be anything.
What's the name of the contact that they make up in the wire?
Oh God, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what do you all want to do?
to? I believe we need to set up a perimeter of around the town.
Yeah,
Oh, we
sorry.
find those
I agree.
stupid bandits, ex-bandits, and see if they know who Eric is. Here, Eric. How do you say it?
Eric.
I have them
Eric.
patrolling the outside of town. Let me go get them.
And then you all sort of talked about maybe setting up near that stretch of road.
Stakeout.
Mhm.
The bandits are actually they're out patrolling, and so you won't be able to talk
Okay.
to them until the next
Well,
day.
let's just stake out then.
So
What
you're gonna
if-
stake out?
Staking out the road where
Yeah.
the attacks have happened because this home is empty.
Should
So the guy we think is involved wouldn't be leaving the city.
Should we try
I'll
to
lock it back
gather
up.
townspeople
Put the ear back under
into
the
one
bed.
location?
Yeah. Also, what if we think it's a werewolf, but it's not? It's actually just a guy who's like training animals to kill people.
Tim?
Yeah.
There's a werewolf movie that Jim Cummings makes. Have
Mm-hmm.
you seen it? All right, you should check it out based on what you just said.
Yeah, I think we just do a little stakeout.
Yep.
Okay.
Silver out. It's a werewolf.
Oh,
Sure.
Any of those junkies have any silver that we could use?
All right. They are former users.
So the group of you set up along the road. Talk to me kind of just really abstractly. Like, are you hiding? Are you kind of, what are you
Yes.
doing?
Yes, hiding.
Arthur would not be. Maybe it is. He's like playing into the bait idea, but
Sure.
like if there is something attacking, we want them to like know that we are here to be attacked. You know what I mean?
Sure. So what's Arthur going to be doing out there at night?
Foraging
Yeah,
berries.
he's gonna look for starberries. Actually,
Okay.
he's like, can't say that I've had these before. I want to try them.
Sure.
As the forager, I'll be showing him how to forage.
So Nikolai and Arthur, a little moonlit moment.
Mm-hmm.
Your hands both reach for the same starberry and touch a little.
This is embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Fuck it.
I should get like
Jason
4.
has gotten like 5 patches this episode.
Like we're having a good day.
Lucky and Ari are hiding in
All right,
the
just-
brush.
In the brush.
Yeah.
Okay.
That guy walking by just got wrecked with snow that came off of that tree.
All right.
Cool Ben's coffee.
I think, in fact, Arthur starts to talk. He opens up a little bit to Nikolai, and says, I don't really get the chance to talk personal stuff, but I've been trying to reach my family via letter, and very oddly, I haven't heard anything in months.
Where when you normally reach out to them, are they quite responsive?
Oh, within a week? And I'm sending letters to an estate. It even seems that someone at the estate would respond.
Nikolai, knowing what it's like to have a house with an estate like that, is that is certainly troublesome. Is there anyone else you could reach out to, maybe nearby?
Not that I know
Or
of.
someone you trust to go check it out?
No, I don't really trust anyone.
It's not a terrible way to live, I guess. Your father is still the head of your house, yes?
Well, yes. He's retired, you understand.
Right. Okay. What about your mother, or do you have other siblings?
No, just me and, well, it was Biff.
Oh.
Nikolai. Yeah. That is very strange.
Maybe you could just work in some sort of contact from our official side.
Sure. Maybe we could even eventually have some type of diplomatic envoy sent to the Monmouth estate.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for trusting me with that information.
Yes.
And I think at this point, the camera kind of pulls up and back.
There's a giant werewolf.
And I think it's going to cut away for a second. And then going to drift back. And you know that Sam Raimi camera angle of moving through the brush? I think others have done it, but I feel like he really kind of put a mark on that perspective of something. And there's something moving through the brush that's watching both of you, Arthur and Nikolai. So tune in next week to find out what.
It's Ari.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Leave a review and tune in next week for more. If you like the amazing background audio and music, all that credit goes to Syrinscape. Make sure you check them out at Syrinscape.com.